Did Lee Anthony ever tell you he knew where Kaylee's remains were?
No, ma'am.
Cindy?
No, ma'am.
George?
No, ma'am.
Anybody affiliated with the family?
No, ma'am.
Did you hear anyone talk about the location of Kaylee's remains prior to December 11th, 2008?
No, ma'am.
All right. I don't have any.
Just one follow-up. What did Cindy and George say about Zenaida?
They don't know who she is.
When was the first time that they told you they heard of her? Because you obviously first heard of her July 5th. Or, sorry, you heard of her after the arrest.
Yeah, after they read the name. I mean, like I said,
Right.
July 5th, she mentioned the name.
When did Cindy and George say that they first knew? Did they correct you, say, oh, we've known her for years or anything? What
I
did they
believe
say?
Cindy has never officially met her, but had heard Casey reference her.
As
Zanny the nanny, because Cindy told me she thought that for a while Casey was saying Annie the nanny, thinking talking about me, but she said it was saying Zanny.
how long had she known of Zanny? Did she ever tell you?
I don't know.
What about George?
I never talked to him about it.
Or Lee?
I don't know if she's ever said anything to Lee.
Any of your friends or any of your circle?
I mean, she always referenced her as the nanny, my nanny.
Well, as of July 5th, the first time she mentioned the nanny. But before that, has anyone in your circle ever remember Casey saying, yeah, she mentions Zenaida or Zanny or the nanny?
I can't speak for anybody else.
Well, you've had chances to talk to, obviously, other friends and people. I'm sure this
Yeah,
has
I
come
mean,
up in
she-
conversation.
when
Did anyone
we-
ever tell you, hey, well, yeah, she told me about her last November. She mentioned that, they went to whatever or they did whatever.
I think maybe she might have. I think I remember Yasin might have said something to me because that's the day he called me, wanting the detective that called me his phone number because he had a conversation that he wanted to send about where she wanted to live, yada yada yada, and I don't know if that was because of just where she was saying she was going to move to, or that she had something with a nanny. I don't recall, but. Specific times, no, I can't think of anything.
Did you ever visit the office of the Sawgrass Apartments with her to put out?
With her, no.
Did she ever visit there to apply for an apartment?
Not that I can think of.
Did you ever talk about it?
Not that I can think
And
of.
where was your apartment that you lived in comparison to the one that she took?
Right next door, from what I can recall. I mean, I'm 2867. What was the building number she said?
When you drove in to go to your apartment that you used to live in, you drive in, the office is to your right?
You drive in, you dead into the office, so you got to go around to the left a little bit, and then
There's a building to your left, and there's another building, right? There's a building
no,
both sides.
they're on your no.
South.
I haven't been there in a very long time. When you walked out my door to go down my stairs, you saw the back of the shopping center.
Okay.
I know that for sure. Like the wall that's there.
You would have been, if you're coming in the driveway, you would have been on the left-hand side. The office would have been on the right-hand side. You would have had to
You have to
park
go to the
and then go
left.
through the hallway and then up to your apartment.
Not through the hallway. No, I wasn't on the water side. I was on the parking lot side. There isn't you drive in, the building's right here, and you have to go around. There isn't anything that way. I don't think.
Okay.
As far as you know, Casey Anthony's only connection to the Sawgrass Apartments is you?
Yeah, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
I just am curious what Jesse's done for you not to like him.
Right after all this happened, me and Melina organized to everyone start meeting up at Publix. That Saturday, we all met up at Publix. We were going to hand out flyers, go around places. Jesse showed up later, and the first words out of his mouth are, "Why did you and Casey quit being friends?" And it kind of caught me off guard. Everyone else that I'd seen that I haven't seen forever is, "Are you okay? How are you doing? What do you think happened?" His words were, why did you and Casey quit being friends? And I just thought that's odd. For somebody who, they did a paternity test to see if he was her father, and to say to me, why did you and Casey quit being friends? It just struck me as odd.
That was my next thing, is if she knew who the father was, did she ever tell you why she may have tried to say that Jesse was the father?
She never told me she tried to say Jesse was the father, but that she wasn't sure who the father was. because I didn't know. I had assumed that Jesse was the father, and then one day I finally asked her, and she said, no, it was this guy. We hooked up. He lives so-and-so. I don't remember where she said it. It was in the South, but not Florida. And that he was married, had another kid.
So any problem you had with Jesse was after the fact. It wasn't like an ongoing thing with him. It was just
no,
that one
no,
statement.
just like after everything happened, I mean, ask me how I'm doing.
Okay.
If we have any further questions,
Sure, no problem. Well, you can,
Call
yeah,
you.
sure. We'll produce her on short notice.
and again, I know I swore you in at the beginning, but I would just like to
Or
confirm.
if you want to, you can just do it, and we just agree they can just do it off by telephone, just a continuation if you want. It's up to you.
I have no problem with that, just as long as we're all in agreement. And again, I already swore you in at the beginning. Everything you told us is true and correct.
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to help get the information on the doctor as well, so I can
Yes.
find out the date range on that.
And your father, when
Yeah,
the day he saw her,
I have to talk to my dad
Okay.
to see if he remembers. But it was prior to.
All right, thank you.
All right, and the time right now is 15, 18 hours.